process to sell off the stakes of SSNIT in these hotels start in 2015 and 2016 when you were in power, as he stated? As far as you do know?
So, first of all, it is absolutely important to question Mr. Freddy Blaze's interest and conduct in this whole affair. Is he the board chair of SSNIT?
Oh, he said if he was.
Is he the spokesperson of SSNIT? Is he the employment minister who has responsibility over SSNIT and how workers' contributions are utilized? Why does he appear so interested in this matter? Particularly when we now know, based on documents I have put out, that there's a certain family interest. So when consistently you are granting interviews, speaking as though you are the PRO for SSNIT or the board chair for SSNIT, it is worrying. We now know that your sons claim to own substantial portions of Labadi Beach Hotel's beachfront. A very scandalous.
Well, and he says they went through the legitimate process to get it. So how do you describe that as scandalous?
I have here the original joint venture agreement signed on the 19th of November 2020 between Gold Coast Expo, Press Express Limited, and Labadi Beach Hotel. Now, Gold Coast Expo, Press Express, these are companies owned by his sons and their business partner, Lloyd DeVos Jr. They themselves admit that that beachfront belongs to Labadi Beach Hotel and started by engaging Labadi Beach Hotel, signing a joint venture agreement. The circumstances leading to how they jettisoned this joint venture agreement claim to have gone to see some people in the La Traditional Council, and we've seen statements from members of the La Traditional Council claiming that they don't know about that transaction, and how they became owners. And don't forget, this led to an internal inquiry within the board of Labadi Beach Hotel, leading to the dismissal of the then managing director of Labadi Beach Hotel.
When was this?
Rene Vincent Ernst. Sometime in 2021, thereabout.
I see.
Now, this situation has led to full-blown litigation in court, where Lloyd DeVos, their business partner, say that he has been cheated out. They have ostracized him. He came up with the idea, made investments, and yet cannot have returns. And he's spilling the beans, revealing a lot in court. And court documents, as you know, are public documents. So when we have this situation, and also we now know, only a few days ago, I published the ownership details of one of the 6 companies that SSNIT shortlisted for the purchase of these hotels. And that company is known as Sparta Knives. Sparta Knives is owned by Mr. Freddy Blaze's son. And by SSNIT's own...
Sparta Knives?
Yes, Sparta Knives. So you see that after they use all kinds of controversial circumstances to annex the beachfront of Labadi Beach Hotel,
which you say is under contention now.
Yes,
it's a subject of a court litigation.
Of a full-blown court litigation.
Okay.
Now, they then went further to. So when he says that if he had his way, why is he not disclosing? When you've decided to speak to these matters, do full disclosure.
We say if he has
Be
money,
sincere.
if he has money, he will.
Why did he not tell the Ghanaian public that his son actually put in a bid actively?
He put in a bid to what? To
buy the hotel.
The stake.
According to SSNIT, actually, they actually came second in the bid. Sparta Knives, yes. So why is he talking as if they didn't actively participate in the tender and put up a spirited effort to own these hotels? They did.
You are saying you have documents?
I have, yes.
Sparta Knives is owned by his
yes,
son?
by his son.
Those documents?
Yes. I've published those articles of incorporation. They are here. So Sparta Knives, owned by Kwawasmao Blay, put in a spirited bid. So we all see what is happening. You know, they claim that these hotels are not good for the rest of us. They are not making profits. They are not a worthwhile investment. And yet, actively, they want to own it. So why are they not doing full disclosure? Why are they not declaring their interests? You know, and speaking as though, you know, they are not doing what they are actively doing behind the scenes. Now, I must also make the point very forcefully that the claim he makes, and that is always what they do to try to just equalize needlessly when there is no basis for that. I hold in my hand SSNIT's own 19th May 2024 press statement. SSNIT says that this process started on the 14th of November 2018. This decision to sell 6 hotels originally by SSNIT was a decision that they took under this administration. It is not a process that started under the NDC.
2015, 2016, he says?
Total falsehood. Total falsehood. He hasn't read the 19th May statement by SSNIT. You should have a copy. It was well published. Absolutely false. It is a 2018 decision by SSNIT. A decision that began and must be fully owned. Why are they not proud of the decision they are taking? Why are they trying to go back into history? 2014, 2015. If indeed there is nothing wrong with this decision as he tries to pontificate. If it is a great decision, it's good for Ghana. Why are you looking for equalization? Why don't you want to own your decisions? And such a major decision, we all know, cannot proceed without cabinet approval. That is why the president himself, the only intervention he has made on this matter is to ask organized labor to go see the employment minister and the board of SSNIT, because this is such a major decision that would not have been taken without the express approval of cabinet. The other distortion in Mr. Blay's interview that he granted you is this claim that workers gave their blessings to this transaction. Again, I have here the 20th May 2024 statement by organized labor.
Well, to the extent that they are represented on the board of SSNIT, then they are part of the decision.
Let's listen to what organized labor says. Quote, the workers' representatives informed the leadership that they had collectively raised objections to the process and had advised that the process be halted. This is when organized labor called for a meeting of their reps. Let me begin with the preceding paragraph. It says, at a meeting held today, 20th May 2024, the workers' representatives on the board of trustees of SSNIT briefed the top leadership of organized labor about the proposed sale of 60% of SSNIT's interest in some hotels. The workers' representatives informed the leadership that they had collectively raised objections to the process and had advised that the process be halted. So organized labor has said publicly that until my expose, they thought that the process had been halted, because that is the advice. And look,
but how can they think like that? And do you agree with that? Because you see, this intention to sell was not a secret one, at least to the extent that SSNIT published some processes related to that in the daily graphic at some point between 2018 and 2022, thereabout. They cannot claim to think that the process had been halted when SSNIT was going ahead with the process. What, they didn't see the publications in the daily graphic?
So according to organized labor, yes, the adverts were made. Remember that the first advert was on the 14th of November 2018, requesting bids for a transaction advisor. We all know that eventually Sem Capital was chosen, for which this country has spent about $491,000, about $500,000 paying the transaction advisor. That's over 7 million Ghana cedis. Now, after this process, these ads and the selection of the transaction advisor, according to organized labor, in the statement that they put out on the 20th of May, they advised that the process be halted and that they do not support it. So their understanding was that the process had been stopped. That's what they have told us. Yes. Now, I haven't seen any documents to the contrary. If the SSNIT board has any board meetings, minutes, board resolutions, they should put it out so that we can question the veracity of what organized labor is saying. To the extent that that has not been challenged by SSNIT and we haven't seen any documents to the contrary, I am inclined to go with organized labor, that indeed they had asked them to stop and they should not have proceeded.
All right. Now, eventually you hit the street, and I want us to proceed on that path, because these issues, organized labor even joined you,
yes,
and they made their position quite clear on the streets. You started from the Labadi Beach Hotel, proceeded to the Labadi, that's La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. You've always made that case about the profitability status of Labadi Beach Hotel, and then also the other one, that's Ridge Royale.
Yes.
So that's 2 of 4 of the hotels up for sale. SSNIT, during that meeting that the president directed the labor minister to have with TUC, indicated that they were yet to take the decision to sell. I'm sure you saw that. So they were yet to take the decision to sell these hotels.
They were yet to
finalize it, all of that. Is that consistent with what you do know? Because you're saying that already there are site visits by Honorable Brian Champong to these areas. Does that point to the finalization of the deal? Is it contrary to what SSNIT is saying, as far as you do know?
So let me begin with the demonstration. I will be remiss if I do not spend some good time on this consequential demonstration. Very monumental development, which cannot be glossed over. The thousands of Ghanaians who poured out on the streets throughout the week, many Ghanaians have been so amazed and so delighted at how the vast majority of Ghanaians understand these issues, are participating in the matters, and are vehemently, very loudly protesting against the sale of these hotels. If you look at Tuesday's turnout and you drill down to look at the partners, I mean, it's as though the whole country against the government. See the turnout from the traditional authorities. I want to start from there. I mean, when was the last time you saw a demonstration where chiefs said that they will lead the demonstration? The chief said, look, we are not going to just give our blessings and sit back.
These are chiefs of where?
And let the youth.
Traditional council?
So you heard, and I want to, this morning, salute the Lapa Wulomo, the Wulomo of La, the venerable, the very respected Ni Yamo Obroni the 7th, who led the charge. He came with all the chief priests of La. I want to salute the chiefs of Gamashi, who poured libation before the demonstration and asked for our ancestors to bless our efforts and to help us succeed in this battle to defeat state capture in its crude form. So I want to pay homage, glowing tribute to the traditional leaders. I mean, it's rare to see our chiefs carry out this patriotic duty with such commitment and such inspiration. Then I must salute the TUC who joined us, the leadership of the TUC, led by Comrade Adefio Sechwe, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, the Ghana Federation of Labor. I want to salute all the political parties, the leadership of the NDC. You saw General Secretary Fifi Kwete in attendance, the youth organizer and other executives. You saw the CPP leadership, the PNC leadership, led by Bernard Mona, their presidential candidate.
No, well, he's yet to be
aspirant, the president, aspirant to be a presidential candidate for the PNC. We saw the coalition of La Youth groups. We saw the United Gadangbe Council. All of these groups who joined us, and you in the media did a fantastic job with your coverage, particularly Media General, TV3. Your coverage from all of what we have heard after the demonstration was quite unparalleled, and I must commend the media for that. The message is very clear. If anybody had any doubts that the Ghanaian people are not outraged, are not appalled, are not disgusted about the state capture going on all over the place, this is the message. And you heard the Lawulomo say that, look, for La, apart from these hotels that are going, their trade fair is gone. Their trade fair, properties there, businesses functioning, demolished at midnight, contrary to even a court decision and court processes. They say their La General Hospital, demolished and abandoned for years. It's only recently that some work has begun. So they say that the destruction of state assets and then the looting of lands, they see it on a daily basis, and they will not tolerate it any further. Are you aware that since we began this crusade, the revelations, so
what revelations exactly?
Parks and Gardens, I have received calls from Parks and Gardens that they went to work one day. Parks and Gardens,
just
our green belt, yes, the green belt which has been preserved since the colonial era. The colonialists demarcated that place as our green belt to give us a green buffer to help us have an ecosystem which is environmentally friendly. We can't have a concrete jungle all over the place. The only surviving green belt now, Parks and Gardens. They went to work one day and somebody shows up that he's the new owner.
The new owner of what?
Of the Parks and Gardens, a private developer.
The area where Parks and Gardens,
where Parks and Gardens is, yes.
That's opposite the WAEC.
Opposite, WAEC,
around
yes,
the
DVLA,
Switchback
yes,
Road.
the Switchback Road, yes. I would encourage you to delve into that matter. Parks and Gardens. So they have had to initiate legal processes to protect Parks and Gardens. Are you aware the number of bungalows that have been raised down? Chief directors have reached out to us. Check what is happening, for example, to bungalows belonging to directors of the Works and Housing Ministry, including the chief director's bungalow, and other organs of state. Judges' bungalows are being demolished. Judges are given short notice to leave. Go look for places to rent.
For what purpose?
It is the marauding invasion. Do you know that the prisons place, not far from here, the prisons barracks, where close to the Dankwa Circle roundabout, close to Osu, all of them have been given up to July to move out.
To move out by who? Who gave them that notice?
The Interior Ministry, that some private developers are taking up.
The Interior Ministry gave them the notice.
Yes, they have been. So they've been given notice to move on. Look, the things happening in this country, across the country. If you go to Tamale, you go to Ho, you go to Wa. Only yesterday I published a letter the Lands Commission wrote to the Upper West Regional Minister. The minister was shocked. The minister,
we'll show that.
The minister was trying to protect lands belonging to Parks and Gardens in Wa. And wrote to when he started, the private developer says, Honorable Minister, please, you put yourself in trouble. I have valid title. So the regional minister writes to the Lands Commission, and to his shock, the Lands Commission confirms that yes, leave the private developer alone.
I see.
So the state capture we are talking about is real, and that is why I must this morning salute President Mahama,
for
the former president, who put out a very clear message 2 days ago.
That
a clear and decisive promise, and I really want to salute the former president, celebrate him for that. This is the pledge he has made to Ghanaians. The Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government is disposing of state lands and properties at an unprecedented rate. When elected, my administration will prioritize the investigation and repossession of these lands. Powerful pledge, and this pledge has received such resonation across the length and breadth of this country. Every Ghanaian is excited about this.
Let's look at that Lands Commission document that you're talking about with respect to what you are indicating is happening. This is it, right?
Yes, that's it.
The alleged illegal development, construction of fuel station.
Yes.
Near Parks and Gardens.
Yes. According to Parks and Gardens, it's their land in Wa.
That's around Dobile.
Yes.
Kambali,
Pani residential area along the J.J. Rawlings High Street, Wa municipality, the Upper West region. Yeah.
Land title information
and brief historical background of the site. Yes.
The site.
It says,
and
please.
This has it's on the letterhead of the
Lands Commission, Upper West region, addressed to the Honorable Regional Minister. It says, please, furtherance to your request for information. The subject matter above refers to enable you take further actions on the alleged illegal development. I wish to inform you that per records of the Lands Commission, the developer has a valid land title document, deed of lease, covering the portion developed into a fuel filling station, and must be noted as such. That's what they told the regional minister.
I see.
So they're actually telling the regional minister to back off. The Parks and Gardens people were protesting that is their land, but they've told all of them to back off. The Lands Commission says that they have sold it. The private developer has a valid lease. Valco lands are also going in the coming days. I'll be putting out more documentation and some
aluminum company.
Yes, and some evidence to
where
that
exactly?
Around the Tema enclave. That's also under the auctioneers' interest. It is about to go, and you look at what is happening. The lack of transparency about these processes and how people come to even own this, and the inhumanity. Look, if you listen to some of the stories, including stories from judges about the short notice they are given to move out, and how some of these judges, these public servants, are told that you have 2 weeks, go look for a place to rent, and then we'll give you some money for your rent. But you see, even the colonialists who we accuse of being,
this is different
buccaneers, plunderers, and all of that.
The judges' bungalows are demolished.
Yes, no, different from the demolition of the National Cathedral.
Okay.
So you have a situation where now, have you been to even rich doctors are also complaining the bungalows they used to have in the past and all of that are all gone. So all these strategic bungalows, so that you can be close to hospitals where you work, you can be close to ministries where you work, and all of that. We are pushing people out to the outskirts.
There were some specific demands that you made of the president in the petition you presented. What are those? And then, because we want to get into some other areas quickly before we end this.
Yes, so it's a 15-point petition, and the petition was received by the Deputy Chief of Staff. And the petition is very, very clear. One, we say that President Akufo-Addo should immediately stop the sale of these SSNIT hotels. Those who are selling are his appointees. Those making the case to buy them, particularly the Honorable Agric Minister, his appointee. We have put out all of what is wrong about this sale. This sale cannot be in a strategic interest. These hotels were built with workers' contributions. These hotels are hotels that will take care of workers when they retire. We are saying that if you look at the Labadi model, it tells you that even for the hotels that are struggling now, they used to be profitable in the past, they're struggling now, it is a management issue. Instead of selling, change the management. Stop appointing people, political apparatchiks from the Jubilee House. Allow the SSNIT board, good corporate governance, they should do a professional hiring process. And let's stop these square pegs in round holes just because of political patronage. And get the right management for these hotels, and you will see the results. The Labadi example has proven that it works. Selling cannot be the option. We have also said that, look, historically, since 1966, this selling of state assets have not been beneficial to Ghana.
Okay.
We lost out on the Industrial Revolution when we sold all these Nkrumah factories and industries and all of that. They just became private assets. They don't help the nation in any way. So these sales must stop. We are also demanding that the president commits that our private members' bill. Recently, the president has gained notoriety of refusing to sign private members' bills from Parliament. He doesn't want to assent to them. And we know the current standoff over the anti-LGBTQ private members bill. And
you're saying you are working around the clock to introduce that private members bill?
Yes, a private members bill that will. So people are taking advantage of certain gray areas, even though the Constitution talks about conflict of interest and has put in place mechanisms, go through a committee of members holding profit, get a permission from the speaker and all of that. People are refusing to do these things and are virtually taking advantage of certain gaps. So we are saying that we are working on a comprehensive piece of legislation, and when Parliament passes this piece of legislation, we want the president to commit that he will assent to it, so that we will have. This
legislation will do what? What exactly will be the intent?
This legislation will ban, it will debar politicians and politically exposed persons from buying state assets. We think it is abhorrent